You know what it is, man. DJ Thorough, aka Thorozano, Bridge to the Streets. Right now, you're watching the hottest in the streets right here on thisis50.com. Special guest
already
in the building.
What up, bro?
What's up? Introduce yourself.
No, your boy Mario in the building.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Right here. Harlem in the building. B-more in the building.
B-more at Harlem. You know what it is.
I remember when This Is 50 first took off. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been killing it in the digital world.
We've been trying to do something out here, man.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
For sure. Thanks to artists like yourself coming through, you know, keeping the platform
no doubt,
rolling.
Man.
Appreciate it.
You gotta touch the streets too.
Right. So let's go back to your humble beginning.
Right.
Your first hit record, what was that?
I mean, that was Just a Friend.
Just
but
a Friend.
Before we go there, when you say humble beginning, I think about Baltimore. I think about
I was gonna get
shows.
Yeah,
I think about singing in the living room at home. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
Like
I wanted to talk about the hit record, and then I was
bet.
gonna cut back to now. How did you get to that hit record? Just to familiarize everybody with
absolutely.
who you are, what's going on.
So Just a Friend was technically that was the second song. I had a song on Dr. Doolittle 2 soundtrack called Tamika with Fab.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So but Just a Friend was the official first off my first album.
Right. So that's where you would know him from if you've been unfamiliar or been under a rock. You know what I mean? Yeah. So listen, let's go back even further to the actual humble beginning. How did you get into music?
I would have to say my family, man. You know, as a kid, when you're growing up and you singing around the house, you don't know that there's a world of entertainment out there available to you.
Right.
In Baltimore, it's like it wasn't really a thing yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a lot of talent. Like actually, I'm lying. There was Drew Hill.
Yeah.
They were, but I was super. It wasn't until I was like 8. I think I was like 8 or 9. No. 9 or 10 when they first came out, but before that, it was just like singing at home, singing it, at my cousin's birthday parties.
Right.
I think my mother noticed my talent first when she got me this mic that turned into the radio.
Okay.
And she woke up one morning and I was singing to like some Boyz II Men song, but I was actually holding the notes and like singing on key.
Right.
Already at like 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
So she just kept, she kept nurturing that talent, and one thing led to another.
Right. Now, were you ever in like a gospel choir or in church singing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything like that?
Yeah, I did. I did sing in church. I was on the Busy Bee choir in church, and it was. I started on a Busy Bee choir, like the kid choir, and then they put me on the adult choir.
Right.
So I was singing with adults already at like 9, 10 years old.
Right. Now, how did you get to the point to where you obviously you noticing you have talent, your mother's recognizing it. How did you get to the point from talent shows, local, being a local celebrity, if you will, to getting signed to J Records? What was that transformation like?
So, I started doing talent shows. I did this one talent show called, they used to call it the Anthony Jeter talent show. He was like a promoter out there.
Okay.
A lot of young people were paid to go and do talent shows. And at the time, I thought I was too. I told my mom, like, when we went to the audition, it was all adults on the show. I'm like, Mom, I'm too young to be on this show. Like, you hear that girl sing the Whitney Houston song? I can't come behind her. Like, I can't sing this. So my mother, like, she made me do the talent show, and it was that talent show that sparked interest in some execs here in New York.
Right.
And one thing led to another. I met Clive, sang for him, and I was signed at 14 years old. 14.
That was like fairy tale for you. That was like fairy tale story because a lot of people.
It's crazy.
It doesn't happen like that.
Nah, it does not, man.
Even with talent.
Yeah, that's facts. Especially today.
Exactly.
So it was definitely a blessing.
Right. Now, me and you have a bit of a history already because I DJ for one of your label mates, which was Cassidy.
Yeah.
And Cassidy was signed to J Records also. So.
Shout out to Cass, man.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, Cass rapped on a remix of, what was it? How does it feel?
Yeah, how do I breathe?
How do I breathe?
He did that. Him and
he did the remix.
Was it him and Fab?
It was just him.
It was just him on that one.
It was just him on that one.
Yeah. Shout out to Cass.
And he killed that. Right.
He murdered it.
Yeah, that was dope. So that's why when I saw him, I'm like, oh shit, that's Mario. You know?
Already. Yeah. We didn't hit the road. We done done some shows together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now since then, you've seen him taking a hiatus with music. Why the hiatus, and what happened in between that and now?
So I've definitely been putting out singles here and there, but not a body of work. I was kind of restricted on the earlier parts of the hiatus, putting out music because I was in a deal, which was, it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of merging with labels, a lot of changes, honestly, in the music industry. And I kind of got caught up in between labels. And then I started kind of finding my own voice creatively. Had some creative differences with the label I was on and ended up going independent. So that took a few years to negotiate out of that deal and do that. And then in between there, a lot of personal issues I was dealing with at home.
Can we speak on any of those?
Yeah, I mean,
right.
a lot of issues with my mom, a lot of issues with substance abuse issues she was facing, and
right.
you know, moving back to Baltimore from New York, New Jersey,
right.
and like kind of being exposed to Baltimore as a young man now.
Right.
You know, being exposed to like the realness and the rawness of the city, and I kind of got caught up in, you know, trying to help my mom and like, you know, doing everything I can and kind of put music in the background for a minute.
Okay.
And I had to find my voice again, not as in physically, like technically, but
right.
just internally. Like, what do I want to talk about? What type of music do I want to make? You know, one thing led to another, and then I would say about a year and a half ago, I really started getting to the heart of what this album is.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I talk about some of these issues on this album. I talk about, you know, growing up. I talk about shadow work, which is like just illuminating, you know, things that you normally wouldn't talk about, or your dark side, and making it into light, and just, you know, it's a real motivational album. It's still R&B, but I also have content on there that's gonna motivate people.
Right. Now, I'm glad you shared that, because even when I grew up listening to certain artists, I thought music artists were excluded from real life things happening, like tragedies or even deaths in families, or somebody bothering or disrespecting them. I literally thought that if you're an artist, everybody respects you.
Yeah.
You don't go through nothing in life.
Right.
You know, like, so to hear you come out and express that's a big deal, because a lot of people that do music, they don't understand that artists are human beings too. They go through the same trials and tribulations that everybody
Facts.
else.
And especially if you coming from a city like Baltimore, you're definitely in one shape or form, you know, affected by, you know, especially if you're black living in Baltimore, you're affected by the streets. You know what I mean? Not saying that other cultures don't. I'm just saying, like, just.
No, it's a fact. You're just speaking fact. It's a fact.
You know, it's something that's real close to home for me.
Right.
You know, and I still got family members that live in the city that's going through real shit. I talk to them and try to keep them motivated. So, you know, it's kind of hard when you grow up in it. It's kind of hard not to use that. Use music as a way to motivate those people.
Right. Now, what did it take for you to express that side of yourself?
For me to go through everything that I've been through in the past 10 years.
Right.
For me to see the music business change in a way where to me it's more about, it's of course it's about the music, but it's about the culture and how can you relate to the culture.
Right.
More so than just putting the, you know, music out, because people can see through the bullshit.
Right. No, you're right.
So what makes you who you are as an artist? What makes you great? What makes you relate to people? I feel like I can relate to everybody, because everybody got struggles. I think everybody has a creative, you know, labor of love, but some people haven't figured out what that is for them yet.
Right.
So it's really just about the journey, and that's why I named the album Dancing Shadows.
Now, define that title. Where does that come
from? Shadow work.
Okay.
You know, when you think of a shadow, or you think of your shadow, it's something that you know of, but people normally don't see.
Okay.
You know, so it's really about illuminating your dark side, or illuminating your, you know, the secrets or the sacred things about yourself that people don't know.
Right.
And also within yourself.
Okay.
So shadow work is something, and it's a practice that I've used over the past few years to kind of like dive into the different dimensions of myself as a being.
Right.
You know, if you will.
Right.
So it was inspired by that.
Right. So now on this album, are there any guest features that we should know about?
Yeah, I'm working on features now. I got a few ideas, but right now the album's just me. I have Buddy Guy on a record called Good Times.
Okay.
Buddy Guy is one of the pioneers of the blues, R&B.
How'd you get? What made you go? That's dope. What made you go that route?
It was my manager.
Oh, okay. Shout out to your manager.
Yeah, she here.
Yeah.
You know. You want to come and sit and talk about the Buddy Guy situation?
She's like, no.
Nah, but
shout out to you.
Yeah, nah, she was with me at the beginning of like me getting into the heart of the project, and after we did this song, which is like 10 versions of Good Times, she was like, look, I've been thinking, I have this artist, do you know who Buddy Guy is? And I've heard the name, of course, but I didn't know all that he'd been involved with musically. So she sent me a link to all his records. I was like, look, let's do it. You know, he turned a lot of records down, like from major artists. So when he didn't turn Good Times down, I knew it was gonna be something special. So he sent me a bunch of like guitar riffs and vocals, and we just like pieced it together. You know, really just trying to bridge that gap and like show the new generation like what soul is, what R&B is, what, you know, just what true creativity is.
Now speaking of the new generation, it's I know the answer to this. It has changed, but what are you doing differently now than you were doing before, because of the climate of music that's out? Like,
just like I said before, I think just eliminating my raw talents, man. Like I played drums on this album. I played on a lot of the records. I co-produced on 80% of the album, 85% of the album.
Okay.
So, yeah, man, what you're hearing, it's definitely different from what y'all would be expecting from Mario. For
Okay,
sure.
so it's growth. It's
definitely growth. It's edgier. It's more grown.
Okay.
It's still classic.
Okay.
But yes, it's a new sound. It's definitely a new sound, man.
All right. So one thing I know about male R&B artists is there are a lot of women at these shows.
Oh, facts.
A lot of women. A lot of women.
Absolutely.
Any nice groupie stories you care to share?
I have a lot of them.
What's one that sticks out in particular?
I mean, the ones that stick out the most probably.
What's the craziest thing?
That the craziest? I can't talk about the craziest.
Okay, yeah, sure you can. On this show you can. It's mandatory. You have to.
Just like girls in the hotel room, like hiding in the closets. Like that was like.
How did
probably,
you get in there? First of all,
that's what I'm saying. That's the crazy part of it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Just like that type of stuff. Then like having like so many times I have parties after shows. But then, like, when you meet people, sometimes behind closed doors, and they real start, after a few drinks, people real start coming out, and I just start kicking people out.
Right.
It's like, yo, I gotta go.
Right.
Go. I might keep one friend behind me, but like, yeah, I'm not really like into the whole crazy parties anymore because it's too much liability. You gotta be careful these days, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Is there anybody you want to work with that you haven't worked with? That you like? What's your dream collaboration?
Dream collab. Let's see.
Who would that be?
Right now, if I had to say Kendrick.
Ooh. That could happen.
Kendrick, for sure. I would love
That's gonna happen. I'm talking to an existence.
Absolutely.
You're gonna owe me 40% when it happened too.
40%? That's a high number, bro.
I'm messing with you.
Yeah, that's Kendrick. I like SZA. Khalid.
Okay.
I think his pen is incredible. There's this artist by the name of Sabrina Claudio. And then, what's the artist you showed me? Elena Barras.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Like, you kind of put me on to something special right there. Shout out to Elena. She's beautiful and her music is amazing.
There it is. You can make that happen.
And then there's so many artists like that that come to mind, man. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a few.
Well, you definitely have a legendary body of work, and I wish you much success, continued success, man. Thanks for coming through.
Appreciate you, dog.
Anything else you want to cover that we didn't cover, perhaps?
Look, man, new album, Dancing Shadows, coming. I'll be touring later this year, top of next year.
No Girls in the Closet.
Yeah, No Girls in the Closet.
That's a new album. No Girls in the Closet.
No Girls in the Closet.
Girls in the Closet.
But yeah, just holler at me straight up. You ain't even gotta hide no more. Ain't no hiding, baby. Come straight to my face. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. You feel me?
What's that Instagram? How can they holler at you? You know they're gonna jump in the
Worldwide. Mario Worldwide on the gram. The new single Drowning is out right now, available everywhere. And shout out to all the core fans, man. Thank y'all for y'all patience. Your boy's back. I'm here.
Hey, he's back. That's what it is. Mario, DJ Thorough, this is 50.com. Like always, when you see us, one knee us. That means pay respects, man. Yeah.